The first body part that we're going to assess is the diaphragm and solar plexus area here in your body, the diaphragm being inside here. Take your thumb and put it halfway between the bottom of your sternum and your navel. Now, what you want to feel here is that on the inhalation, there will be a slight outward movement as the diaphragm drops down. As on the exhalation, then the diaphragm moves up inside the rib cage. This will pull in. If you feel this push out on the exhalation, speaking or singing or breathing, then that's something that we want to correct. That's what the self-assessment is for. Katie's going to show you the simplest way to do this. But first she's going to breathe slowly and steadily, and her diaphragm is working properly. Then she's going to breathe fast and energetically. Make sure your diaphragm is still moving in the right direction. Now she's going to speak in a normal speaking voice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now she's going to speak in an elevated or staged speaking voice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Next, she's going to assess the action here in the diaphragm singing. She'll sing a soft note, then a loud note, then a note that's low in her range, and then a note that's near the top of her range.
Ah, ah, ah.
Next, you'll assess whether your pelvis can remain in a neutral position as you sing and speak. We want the pelvis to be in neutral with the sits bones pointing at the floor, neither hyperextended nor tucked. If you have a long mirror at home that you can see yourself in, you can simply do the singing and speaking maneuvers and watch yourself. If that's not an easy thing for you to do, you can find that action very easily sitting on a chair. If you're not sure about what your pelvis is doing, you can sit on a hard chair and feel your sits bones connecting with the chair. If it's still hard for you to feel that, you could put 2 4-inch balls under your body, one under each sits bone. And then you can really feel how much those sits bones are moving back and forth as you do the different vocal maneuvers. Another way that you can test this is to put a ball between your legs. And as your inner thighs connect with the ball, that will help keep your tailbone coming underneath you and the pelvis remaining in neutral. First, we'll do the breathing in and out gently and slowly, making sure the pelvis stays in neutral. Then energetically breathing in and out, again keeping the pelvis in neutral. Now Katie will speak in a normal voice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then in a stage or elevated speech.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Pelvis stays where it is. Next, she'll sing a soft note, a loud note, a low note, and a high note.
Ah, 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 ah.
Do this assessment at home to make sure that your pelvis stays neutral. We want the shoulder girdle to float off the rib cage and not press down on the top of the rib cage as you look for more sound. There are several ways that you can assess this. You can put your thumbs in the space between your rib cage and your shoulder girdle, and there should be a space there for you to put your thumbs into. Also, this is very visible. If you watch in a mirror and you see your shoulders rise and fall, then you're overusing this area. You can also just take your fingertips and put them on top of your shoulders and notice if your shoulders rise and fall as you breathe, speak, or sing. So now Katie will do a slow and steady breath, keeping her shoulders nice and relaxed. Then a fast and energetic breath. And remember, I'm not saying that your shoulder girdle should be rigidly held. It just shouldn't be pushing up against your fingers with tension. Your whole body will expand as you breathe. Next, she'll do a normal speech sound.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And an elevated or staged speech sound.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
She'll sing a soft note, a loud note, a low note, and a high note.
Ah, ah, ah.
This is a great way to assess what's going on in your shoulder girdle as you're speaking and singing. The neck is a very important place to assess what's going on with the peripheral tension in your body. We're going to assess the neck in 3 places. We'll start with the back of the neck. Katie will place her fingers along the upper trapezius muscles, and you're just checking to make sure that those muscles don't tense and push against your fingers when you breathe, speak, and sing. Katie will do a slow and steady breath, and a fast and energetic breath. Normal everyday speech,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
and elevated or stage speech.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
A soft note, a loud note, a low note, and a high note.
Ah, ah, ah.
The next place we'll assess is the front of the neck, this very important muscle called the sternocleidomastoid. Katie turns her head. You can see this muscle visible here. What you want to do is take your arm and place it on that muscle. Take your thumb, put it right on that muscle, lace your fingers behind your neck. So you have both thumbs on those 2 muscles, and she'll do the same assessing. A slow and gentle breath, a fast and energetic breath. If these muscles move already on the breathing, don't despair. These tend to be very tight for most people. Now, normal speech,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
elevated or stage speech,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
a soft note, a loud note, a low note, and a high note.
Ah, ah, ah.
People often feel these muscles tense when they sing above the staff or a high note, so pay close attention to that. The last place we're going to assess are these little muscles right here in front of the larynx called the sternohyoids. Katie's going to tense them so that you can see the muscles that we're talking about. Now she's never going to tense them again. So what you want to do is make sure that those muscles are not tensing and pushing out when you breathe, speak, or sing. A slow and steady breath, a fast and energetic breath, normal speech,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
elevated or stage speech,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
a soft note, a loud note, a low note, and a high note.
Ah, ah, ah.
Another important area to assess the peripheral tension in your body is in the lower jaw. So there are a couple of easy ways to do this. One is to take your fingers and simply massage the muscles that connect the lower jaw to the skull. These are called the masseters. You should be able to feel your teeth through the muscle. Your fingertips should be feeling the teeth, not a wadded up massive muscle. Then you're really going to have some releasing to do if it's that tight. It's not hard to release, you just have to stay with it. Another way you can assess the jaw is to take the curve of your finger between your thumb and your index finger, and you can monitor whether the jaw is moving forward with a pressure as you speak and sing. So Katie's going to massage her masseters as she does this. And again, you're just trying to keep these muscles soft as you do the maneuvers. A slow and steady breath, a fast and energetic breath. Normal speech,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
elevated or stage speech,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
a soft note, a loud note, a low note, and a high note.
Ah, ah, ah.
Keeping this released will make a big difference. Now we're going to release the tongue. This is another place where we tend to carry an awful lot of tension. This whole area of the body right here, underneath the hard and soft palate, I call the slice. There are a lot of things in there that tend to get tense, and tongue is one that's almost universal. There are a couple of ways that you can assess your own tongue tension. One is to simply take your thumb and put it under your chin. Your tongue should not press down against your thumb with pressure, and you should be able to feel a relatively soft muscle, not a wad of tension. Another way that you can assess the tongue is by putting a finger underneath the blade of the tongue down into the root, and you will feel with your finger the tension that is there, probably even at rest. Most people have tongue tension. Don't despair. You just want to recognize that it's there and that you can release it. So you can do the maneuvers with your finger in there, feeling if that tension increases and pushes against your finger. Katie's going to show you the maneuvers with her thumb under the chin. She'll do a slow and steady breath, then an energetic, fast breath. You don't want to feel that tongue pushing. Now she'll do normal speech.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Elevated or stage speech.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
A soft note, a loud note, a low note, and a high note. Keep in mind that very few people have complete release in their tongue. And if you feel a little tension here, it doesn't mean that you're not already making a very nice sound. But you want to eradicate as much of that tension as you possibly can.